The Green Ember, Chapter 1. Heather had invented the game, but Pickett made it magic. She remembered the day it began. She had been out in the meadow behind their elm tree home, lying on a blanket in the sun. Heather was little then, her long furry ears bent slightly in the wind, and the bow she invariably wore over one ear was starting to come undone. That day, Mother had done a carnation bow, an intricate weave of one long ribbon made to look like a large flower, and pinned it to one ear. Pickett was little more than a baby then, sleeping in his crib. Heather had gathered several sticks and was thinking hard about them when a powerful gust of wind almost knocked her over. The gust finally loosened her bow, which came down in a tangle of scarlet ribbon draping over the sticks she held. She was unaware that she held the ingredients for a game that would later give them endless hours of fun. She had crossed two short sticks and made an X shape. Then she added another, giving it 6 points. She tied them together with a long scarlet ribbon. Heather smiled. It was pretty, like a star. The end of the ribbon trailed back a few feet, and she considered wrapping all of it around the bound pointed sticks. But she stopped suddenly, and then the wind picked up again as she tied off the ribbon around the star at its center, leaving its long scarlet train to flap in the breeze. She stood, holding her small invention aloft, smiling wide. With barely a thought of why, she flung the toy as hard as she could. It sailed through the air like a shooting star, the ribbon trailing a scarlet wake. It disappeared into the tall grass. She frowned, afraid it would take forever to find it. That's when the game came to her. When Pickett woke up, she explained to him, hoping he would crawl out and play, but he was too little then. "It's called Starseek," she said, "and this is the star." "Is it a real star?" Pickett asked, his head cocked sideways and whiskers twitching. "No, little one," Heather said. "A real star hangs in the sky at night, along with a million others. This is just a game." "A game?" Pickett said. "Maybe they're all for games." Now that they were both older, Heather near maturity, and Pickett not too far behind, the two of them had played Starseek hundreds of times. It had been fun to play alone for a little while, but that got old pretty quickly, so Pickett played with Heather's patient instruction from the time he could walk. Now he was older, and as much as Heather hated to admit it, getting as good as she was at the game that she had invented. He had a keen eye and was agile on the ground. She was faster. She could still beat him at a straight run race, but he was quick. Today she was in danger of losing every match, but it wasn't over yet. Pickett flung the star and it sailed, red ribbon against the blue sky, far into the meadow. Finally falling, it disappeared into the tall golden grass. The moment it touched down, they were off. Pickett darted back and forth amid the tall grass. He had an uncanny knack for doing a sort of quick math in his mind, and his estimations were almost always spot on. He liked to stay low, close to the ground, but Heather's chance lay in her experience and flat-out speed. She bolted for the spot where she was sure the star must be, running full out, headless,